In this Embrace Your Geek video, we're going to run through some of the slightly more advanced ways you can update your Facebook page and slightly change the way that it looks. First thing we're going to look at is the line here in the middle. When you hover over that line, you'll notice you get a plus appearing. And what you can do, when you click on that plus, it gives you the normal options you get for adding a status update. So whether a status update or a photo or a video. So let's say, for example, we're going to add a status update. We can put in wherever we want to normal. And it could be something that happened last week. And now we may think to ourselves, oh, it's not so relevant to post it now. Although if people then go and look through our timeline, through the history, then they'll see gaps. So we can fill in those gaps. We can still put the status update in there, and we can actually put it in as something that happened last week or even last year. You can go back as far as you can up until the point at which the page was created. So a great way, if you have maybe you've not been looking at your page for a couple of months, you can go back and you can update it and still have them appearing in the right chronological order. And you can do that same with photos and videos, etc. You can't publish in the future, so it won't let you advance publish and it appear later, unfortunately, at the moment. Maybe that's something they'll introduce at some point. I'll wait and see on that one. Right, so the other thing to show you is, as you can see at the moment, the latest status update I did was this photo of a phone. Now, it might be that actually I want to promote a particular post, a particular update that I've created. I want to promote that and I want it to be up there for a bit longer and not actually end up going down the page every time I do an update. Now, the way you can do that, so let's take for example this video. Maybe I sort of decide myself, actually I'd like this video to be more prominent for people to know about it and stay out there a little bit longer. If I click on the little pencil option, and you see as I hover over these, an option appears. So as I hover over this, I get the option with the star, the highlight star, which I'll come back to, and this little edit or remove option, which looks like a little pencil thing. Click on that. Now again, even if something is posted, you can change the date. So as we just saw with the timeline, we can post something back. So once you've posted and you thought, actually I want to change the date on that, you can also do that. Or you can have it so it's not actually shown within the timeline. So if I now click pin to top, that's literally going to take a virtual pin and stick it to the top of the page. So whenever I make any other updates, it's still going to stay there at the top of the page while the pin still exists. While it's done in, I can just literally click on it again, and if I want to, I can say unpin from top. Even though that's, as you can see, that's 16 hours ago and this was 12 hours, so this really should be the one that's up there. Something else you can do, if there's a particular post an update that you actually want to make a more big deal of, and this works really well for items with pictures in, is you can highlight it. So if I go and I click on, again hover over so I get the option, click on the star, then it takes it the full width, so it makes it much more prominent, really makes it stick out on the page. Now you can't highlight something that's pinned, and the other thing is you can't actually highlight the top article, so you can't have a highlight that would be at the top here. That's the only sort of restrictions. Otherwise you can create multiple highlights. I could pick something else. Let's have a look. If I additional recent ones, if I wanted to, so I wanted that one to be highlighted as well. Do the same process, and again that's highlighted, so it becomes much more prominent within the timeline. I can do that as many times as I like. So those are some of the different ways you can update. Now one other thing we'll just briefly touch on is at the top here. So at the top here you've got your tabs. Now the interesting about these tabs are, one is the last photo you put on there will be what will appear in your photo option, in your photo tab. So you're clicking at your photos, you've got your likes, and you've got your videos. Now you can change some of these around if you wanted to. If you've got a list of events, then I've got notes up here. So if I actually click on the little area here, what I can actually do is I can click on a plus and say actually I want to add events. Now I've got events in there, I can now click on the edit option and swap it. And I say, okay, I want to swap it with notes. So now notes, so now events is now more prominent in there. Something else that I can do, so I've actually created some applications. We're not really going to cover applications here in this particular video, but just to show you some of the things that you can actually do. So I'm going to add in one of the applications that I've got, which is really just another page. And again, I'm going to say, well, actually, I think I want that instead of likes. So I'm going to swap that around for the likes. And then I've got another page that I created. So I want to swap that for events, I think. Actually, no, maybe I want to swap that for those two. There we go. Happy with that. So now I can close that down. And now I've got a slightly different layout at the top here. Now, because these are ones I've created, these applications I created, I get other interesting options. If I go into edit the settings, I'll just do that once more actually, just to show you. I literally just hovered over. Ooh. I just expanded the. Once you've opened them up the arrow, you then get this edit option. So that's got to be, the arrow's got to be pointing up for you to be able to get these edit options. Okay, and if I go down to edit settings, then I can actually, I can change the name and of course I change the image. So it means I can start getting a little bit creative as I have here. If I just close that down, so I don't get the edit option anymore, and click on this, then this will load up a page. Just got my Twitter feed. Seems to be an error there. There should be a plugin loading up there, but that might be something to do with my web browser. So there's other things you can do. You can create your own other in pages and effectively create your own sort of mini website within Facebook. But we'll come on to that in another video.